Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Brandon.
Welcome back to Thirsty Thursday.
Thank you. Welcome to you as well.
Thank you. This is a weird energy for an audio medium.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
My husband started massaging my shoulders at the beginning of this recording, and it felt real good.
Well, good. I was just hoping to I'm glad you explained it, was all, so we could
Yes.
have some context.
Yes. That's
Anyway,
the context.
we're in the middle
Anyways,
of a... Dad's in the middle of a Damien date.
And now we've run into Hugo.
Damien and I walk into the school and are immediately greeted by an anxious-looking Hugo.
Hey, Damien. You're here in record time. I wouldn't miss it for the world, dear friend.
Wow, whatever it is, it doesn't seem like this is Hugo and Damien's first time to the "my kids are in trouble" rodeo.
What is it this time? This, Damien, you have to believe. You have to see to believe.
Damien and I fall into step behind Hugo, who leads us through the busy corridors of the school. We pass by several classes in session, and I vaguely wonder if Amanda's around. Vaguely? Hugo eventually ushers us into a small boiler room with a flight of rickety stairs leading down into darkness.
Watch your step.
I can hear faint voices drifting up from the basement, and they don't sound happy. As I'm led into the depths of the school, I recall the antics I got into as an angsty middle schooler. At least I had enough sense to stay out of the creepy basement. We find another teacher in a boiler room tucked away in the back of the basement. With him are Lucian and Ernest, Hugo's son. Lucian has a bloody nose. You want me to be teacher?
Sure.
Thank you for coming. I can't make heads or tails of this. I look around the scene of the crime and see a bunch of bricks and some masonry tools scattered around.
What happened here?
Maybe.
I think you were Lucid.
That sounds right.
Lucian.
Ernest punched me. I think I was also
Oh,
Lucien.
you were also Ernest.
Lucien tried to kill me. The room falls silent. I was not trying to kill you, dumbass. I was just trying to build a brick wall around you and see what would happen. Like in The Sims. That's what I was trying to do. Why does this happen in all the... Okay. You promised me there was wine down here. You tricked me.
Whoa. Wait a second. Lucian, did you try to cask of I've never said it out loud.
Montatito? Tiedo. Amonatiado. Monatilido?
That Edgar Allan Poe story. Ernest.
I'm neither confirming nor denying that. I turn to Damien and whisper to him. What's a cask of Amontillado?
It's a classic Edgar Allan Poe short story, where a man gets his enemy drunk, lures him down to his cellar with the promise of wine of a fine vintage, or he'd probably say vintage, then buries him alive behind a brick wall. It's a lovely story.
So wait, Lucian, you tried to do that to him? I was curious to see how it would turn out. I wasn't actually going to leave him there. What was the thought process here? That Ernest was just going to sit still while you slowly built a tomb around him? Well, it worked for like 20 minutes because he's an idiot. But then he realized that I had lied about the wine. And you were cackling maniacally. That sort of tipped me off.
Ernest, 20 minutes?
Dad...
It took you 20 minutes, son. We just did an entire 2-week unit on the cast of Amontillado, and it took you 20 minutes to realize Lucian was leading you into an elaborate ruse? Did you even read the story?
I read the first 5 pages and then read a review of the movie.
It's only 5 pages long, and there is no movie.
Haha, yeah, you're right. I paid Lucian to read it for me. Actually, he didn't even pay me. So when you think about it, it was me teaching him a lesson. Damien and Hugo both have their heads in their hands. You guys are always telling me to engage in the literature, and I did. I don't see a problem here.
All right. I'm filing this under what the hell? Don't do whatever that was again. You both are suspended for a week.
Teacher sounds like he's in pain.
It is pain to be a teacher,
It's
and that's
true,
what I was
that's
channeling.
true.
Ernest and Lucian high five. The teacher starts to stomp up the stairs.
Here we go. I'll cover your class. Take your son home. Mr. Bloodmarch, you too.
Thank you for your mediation.
We all head up the stairs and out of the school in tense silence. Lucian, Damien, and I Apollo, all pile into my car and begin to drive home. Lucian immediately puts his hood up and stares out the window angrily. I'm not going to therapy again.
I know, son. It's entirely up to you whether or not you want to go. But I care about you, and I can see that you're struggling. So if you decide that you would like to speak to a professional about your feelings, we can do that too. Maybe you can spend this next week looking for a summer job, I know how much you want your own car.
I can't believe Damien's keeping his cool. I'm impressed. Fine. Thanks for not freaking out too hard.
I love you, son.
Lucian continues staring out the window. Love you too. We spend the rest of the drive in relative silence. The moment we pull into the driveway, Lucian hops out of the car, slams the door, and runs inside. That's not me.
I didn't expect to have that conversation in front of you. He and I have a lot we need to work out.
It's all right. And all things considered, on NPR, Lucian's bricklaying was pretty good. So there's your silver lining.
There is that, yes.
Going through phrase, I really admire how you handled it. What was this thing? I really admire how you handled all that. That's how people make out, remember? That's the night. You were a lot more diplomatic with him than I would have been.
I just want what's best for him, and I don't think yelling at him would do either of us any favors.
It rarely does. You're a good dad.
Woo!
See you around soon.
It would be my honor and my pleasure.
Damien bows with a flourish. Classy. All right. I come home to find Amanda curled up on the couch with a blanket watching TV. I plop down next to her.
Yo.
What you watching?
Tiny House Hunting Brothers Extreme Edition.
Ugh, I hate this show. The couple on screen bickers back and forth while standing in an extremely small house made of recycled bottles. The Tiny House Hunting Brothers watch them with bemused expressions, both of their heads touching the low ceiling. Do you want to be...
Yes.
Okay.
I told you I wanted a 2-bed, 2-bath, shabby chic cottage. This house doesn't even have a bathroom.
But honey, the outhouse is only 20 yards away. It's not that bad.
I am not pooping outside, Greg.
Why don't they just get a regular-sized house?
I don't know. How'd afternoon tea go?
It got strange. We had to go to the school to pick up Lucian, since he tried to...
He lured Ernest down to the cellar with the promise of a fine vintage and then tried to brick him into the wall, right?
How'd you know that? Has everyone read this story except for me?
Lucian live-streamed the entire thing.
This entire day is beyond me. But otherwise, it was a fun day. That Damien guy is a character. But he's really good company. And a surprisingly diplomatic dad.
I dig his style.
You know what? Me too.
Alright, so
Alright.
let's see how well we did on the date.
I'm betting S, right? I killed it. Killed it. Listen to those points. What? I don't know what he just said, but...
Bricky. It's the Victorian word for good.
Oh.
He said it was good.
Well...
You failed the Edgar Allan Poe test.
Whatever.
I don't know how any of it works.
Moving on.
Moving on. I like that one of the categories is bat, though.
Of course.
Hey.
Maybe it's because I didn't ask him about his butterflies again.
Maybe. Oh my god. Okay, we'll be right back, and then we're going to go talk to Craig.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.